son.
I tell that story. I just told it this week. A lot of people don't know Winston Churchill, right? They were reaching. They're like, please, Churchill, we need you. 2 years later, gone because he opposed socialized healthcare. No one tells that part of the story, right? Everyone wants to put away the wartime leader when it's no longer wartime, and they want shit. And this is, unfortunately, a nation of people. I know you're saying it's not really a country anymore. Value free shit over freedom. And I am concerned that that's a lot of it.
Everything you need to work for stuff, and if you don't work for stuff and you expect free stuff, you're just a child for your whole life. It's like, I want this now. It's like, well, grow up. And that's the problem we got. Again, it's so difficult what's going on in schools. We run a lot of campaigns in schools. The stuff that they're teaching kids in schools. I had an 11-year-old kid yesterday give me a lecture on Gaza. I'm like, what?
You're an adult. You can just wring his neck.
I'm just like, what the fuck? And it's like, he's gone in school. He's gone in school. He's been told about, diversity, common purpose, and all, and the fact that he's white privilege. And he's come home with a bunch of Gaza shit going on in his head. And I'm like, I don't want to show him pictures of the horrors that have been committed. I don't want to show him that, but I just want to say to him, listen, man, it's horrible when a parent is telling their child, or someone they know, not to listen to their school teachers. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, it really is a horrible place to be. You know what? It's also why, unfortunately, people, certainly Christian conservatives, people who value decency, are kneecapped, right? We want to protect our children from porn. The left wants to expose them to porn.
Yep.
We want to protect them from images of death. They want to show them images of death to sympathize with terrorists. So the only porn they see is transgender, queer pornography. The only images of death they see are of the innocent, freedom-fighting Palestinians, because we actually value decency, and there does need to be a middle ground. That's why we always tell people this show, we say, look, your kids shouldn't watch this, but we want to arm you with the information so that you can protect your children, because a lot of conservatives, here in the States at least, stick their head in the sand, and they don't know the evil that they're facing. Let me ask you this. If you had to pin it down to kind of one pivotal issue that has been sort of, that has pulled at the thread of Western civilization, of what used to be kind of, the glorious culture of England and the United States, what would you say was the start that toppled the domino, if you had to pick one?
It would be the anti-racism movement. The fact that it was unchecked. We imported it straight from America, and God, Ibrahim Kendi did well out of that, didn't he? 2 reports. And the anti-racism movement was moved over here. The UK has a really different cultural makeup to America. It's not necessarily a nation of immigrants in the way that America is in a lot of ways. And also, you find that you go down to the furthest reaches of England, to Cornwall and stuff like that. They will say, we have had our Black Lives Matter protest. We don't drink rum and we don't take sugar in our tea. They were objecting to slavery. Also, no one teaches in England anything. You've got Black History Month, all this sort of stuff. No one teaches that we ended slavery. Congratulations. Where's the fucking round of applause, guys? Right. But it's not. It's like, no, you horrible white oppressors, and then every institution is filled with this idea that you have to be an anti-racist. I think it's like mental, it's word gymnastics. I don't agree with it at all. I think you have to work in opposites. What's the opposite of an anti-racist? That's a racist. So you just go, no, we hate racism. We condemn racism, but we're not anti-racist.
Yeah.
And it seems to be that simple. So now we're all. The first reason I was cancelled in the first place was when I was told I wasn't allowed to make a comment on Meghan Markle because I was a white privileged male, and I said, being racist, that's racist.
Yeah.
I can't choose what colour my skin is.
Well, yeah, by the way, it has nothing to do with the fact that she's biracial, who, wouldn't necessarily pass the brown paper bag test. It has to do with the fact that she's a manipulative bitch.
I second that view.
Yeah, that's just my point of view. That's why I understand what you're saying. I would say probably as you get to the gender bending and all of this, started with feminism before we got to the modern sort of equity. This thing, you can have equality or you can have equity.
Hey, Joe, good morning.
One of these things, but feminism is what pried the for identity politics, and I would say even paved the way for the racial identity and then gender identity in full circle. And that's been so pervasive in the UK. My gosh.
But they want to kill the feminists too, like the real feminists, the good feminists, like Posey Parker, who's sitting there while Will tuck your dick in before you go for a swim, whatever his name is. It was sat there, and she was just shouting, "You're a man! You're a man!" And someone was turning around to her saying, "How do you know?" And she goes, "Do you know what a fucking cat is? I know what a cat is." It's like it was. There are some cool feminists.
Yes.
I like the feminists, some of them. But
Yeah.
these worries me. Gillette advert-loving wenches, just please leave.
Yes, wenches is far nicer. Though you do use the C word. I have a lady who works for me who's from the UK, and she uses the C word. Like, we would have her on Skype. She would use the C word all the time, and the American would be like, oh, geez. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. It just means like for you, like Boston. Like, it's just you cheeky. We were like, well, yeah, I know, but the women here, it's really, really bad. They don't. So these are just syllables, people. Gerald had one question, I believe, before we let you go.
So, is there a way back for the UK? Like, is there something that can be done? Is there enough of a movement going on right now to kind of turn this back?
Well, ironically, it'll come from America, because if Biden gets dumped, which let's hope he is, if they don't rig that election as well, and Trump gets back in, then we'll be all right. Because then we're emboldened by Trump, because Trump is actually quite representative of the British spirit, which is like, come on, guys, we're all going to die, but who cares anyway? Let's go in there.
Yes. Well, but look, exactly. I said that's what the Gurkhas were. Yeah. Well, no. I think I'm going to die. Let's shit up. All right.
No, but I just look. You're not Trump, but you're doing the same thing. You're standing up. You're speaking out. It's going to cost you something. You're willing to pay that price for freedom, for free speech, for free ideas, to be able to discuss these ideas out in the public. And hopefully there's enough people out there. You said already one person stood up for you at the office. Unfortunately, was fired as well. But that's what it takes. Like, this stuff doesn't come out of thin air. You can't just go, oh, well, I accepted it. No, you have to fight.
It requires the stopping of capitulation. What bothers me most about your story, Mr. Fox, is not that the left does what the left does, right? You can't. I mean, right? You knew I was you knew I was a snake when you. What's the term? You knew I was a bear. I knew I was a crocodile when you made me. What is any of them? Pick a dangerous animal.
Bites, I don't know.
Pick a dangerous animal. And water snakes freak me out.
That's what fighters. There we go, spiders.
What bothers me is people who claim that they are on the right. That the consequences came from people who probably didn't even have a problem with what you said. They had to capitulate because the left is effective in mobilizing against sponsors, and it's a dollars and bills equation, which we have struggled against. That's why we've created Mug Club, because I'm sorry, I don't think there can be Western civilization if we are all beholden to 5 companies. Facebook, Meta, Alphabet, Google, YouTube, Amazon, Apple.
Good morning, Black
National. And that's what happened with you.
Freedom fighter.
Gosh, that had to be really more disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing worse than the one thing worse than your enemy is your enemy pretending to be your friend. And I think the problem is, and I mean this with real sadness, whilst I deplore the entire evil, satanic, nihilistic ideology of wokeism, I admire the fuck out of them for being so good at it.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're all sat there going, oh, yes, no, freedom of speech, he's sausage up, fuck him. Yeah, get rid of it, it's like, fuck off, guys. Honestly, but in the street,
I love listening to Brits talk.
People go out in the street, like disgusting a couple of more left,
especially base Brits
in the street, and said, Jesus, this isn't cool.
Yeah.
Because even for me, it's not cool. The left traditionally believed in freedom of speech, and they've lost that.
Yeah.
So we just have to see what happens. I think it's going to get a hell of a lot worse before it gets better.
I think so. I think you're being stepped by people on the left, and we have a huge portion too. People here, for example, who aren't necessarily conservative, but they love Ryan or love Nick DiPaolo. You're funny and you're talented, and they'll give you some time. They'll give you some time and say, all right, let me hear what he has to say. It's not just picked by hitting the right talking points, which unfortunately the first filter on the right. And so we need people like you out there. So I know people can follow you on Twitter, on X, and if there's somewhere else that you land or something that you really want people to know about, please don't hesitate to come back, Mr. Fox.
I will. Thanks so much for having me, and it's been a real pleasure to be on your show, because I enjoy it every single day. And I am allowed to admit it, my youngest son as well is just in love, adores you.
Well, let's ship him some merch and get it signed. Mr. Fox, thank you so much. This has not been What a Piece of Shit, but Lawrence Fox. All right, and we're bringing him back in. Sorry, because
that's great. I love that.
I'll be right back.
His aggressively English accent.
Yeah, it was like
I was like, you have the accent. You can just speak, and then he does it.
It was like a white guy doing the black white guy voice.
The voice,
meeting. It was like an English guy doing the American English guy.
He's just a breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
Just fucking tells the truth.
He doesn't
poetically.
Yeah, I like and he also looks like who's that actor who was in Wimbledon and he was the guy in X-Men who had all the face paint? You know what I'm talking about.
He could rob a bank. You could rob a
bank.
bank with that accent in this country.
Yes.
Put the money in the bag, please, if you don't mind.
Excuse me, make sure it's not one of those bags of cash with exploding ink. If that happens, I'll have to come back here and whack every last one of
I
you.
have to shoot all of you.
Yeah.
Politely.
I will end your bloodline. And I know a lot about it because mine is blue. I'm royalty. Royal blue, they say. Chicago Improv, October 27th and the 28th.
That's
Go
right.
to BrianCallen.com to see all of his
Yeah.
tour days. And then Josh Firestein at Messy Jesse's in Aberdeen, Washington on October
Still want to know what that is.
13th. You can follow him on Instagram at Josh_Firestein. You have a note, Joe.
I do have a note. So we talked about this, but apparently the Delta Force and SEAL Team 6 are going to be working with the idea in finding and extracting the hostages.
Good.
Excellent.
So that should be fantastic. Make quick work of them boys and
Good.
get home.
I can't wait for that book.
Let me get my kit.
Yeah.
Get my kit together. I'll be right back, boys.
I can't wait for that game. I used to play Delta
Game.
Force.
Yeah.
You ever played Delta Force? It was one of the early.
Oh, North?
Yeah,
The Delta Force.
Oh, yeah.
Show. I love
Delta
it.
Force.
Yeah. The Rock. They were in Lebanon, I think, a lot of those times, right?
Were they?
I think initially the first
Yeah.
one.
That must have been.
Hey, don't worry about where they were.
Oh, come on.
They
They
were
were where
fine.
they needed to be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's gonna total Jim the shit out of them.
Yeah.
That's right. It
We
was
call
before
that
he
the
was.
dark side, the dreaded D.
I don't know why they never fit. It's him and I think Christy Brinkley, the total Jim, and they never fixed it where he refers to it as the triceps,
Yeah.
and they just kept it in there. Like you could do a second take,
No,
No, it's
they probably did.
Like
They're
the
probably like, he's not going to get it.
and the triceps. It's like what? I mean, you're selling a gym. Just say the name of the muscle,
yeah,
correct?
but when Chuck Norris says it, it's right.
Yeah, I guess.
There's some exercise bands everywhere. Is that
You
the
do?
question?
That's good for you. Yeah, total Jim. Keeps him alive.
That's how I keep so dancer fit.
Or it could be the dancing.
It could be the
It
dancing.
is the dancing. It is the private
It really
dancing.
is, yes.
It's the private dancing.
That's always one of those things. People are like, I want to get a dancer's body. Well,
Yeah.
dance every day, all day, professionally. Then you have a dancer's body.
I shrunk my leotard on purpose.
Oh,
Well,
Keeps me honest.
Yeah, you might want to be careful because that could be considered sexual assault.
Can you wear that next time?
I don't know.
All right.
He wore it when he came in. We asked
Did
him
he?
to change, so
Yeah.
that's on me. Sorry.
Unsnaps.
Come on,
You
Steven.
know where.
As everyone, I don't. By the way, butt flaps are incredibly impractical. When they have those like in
They are.
onesies,
That
it
is
doesn't
not-
work at all.
it
It's
doesn't.
just an
No.
accident waiting to happen.
you're just gonna have crap on your butt flap.
Yes, exactly.
Like, it just
Maybe it works like with outhouses when maybe the I guess the holes were smaller in toilets.
I
The
don't.
point is, I tried it once, and you can guess how it went.
You had to watch your
Butt
onesie.
flap.
Yeah.
It's just for farts, fart holes. Yeah, you don't want to keep it trapped in. You gotta. All right. Put it back.
All right, I guess that works. Hey, by the way, before we go to chat, I do have a question. I went to sit down. I went to sit down in a chair today, like a big chair, because I like big chair. And I sat down, and the arms of the chair, kind of like that, it was pointy. I misgauged it. I was looking at my phone, and I sat my butt cheek like all my weight down in the
fuck
corner
this.
of the car, and I have a bruise the size of a baseball, and it's black.
Oh,
on my
man.
ass.
You need iron.
Does that? Your wife's a nurse. Like, do I actually need to worry about a blood clot or calcification?
You're fine.
Because people say that about some bruises.
You have
I've been
a bruise on
studying-
your butt, you're
I've been
fine.
studying medicine. Let me take a look.
Yeah, okay, well,
Let me take a look.
I've been studying.
Let me take my pants off and we'll compare.
Stop whining. Why are you taking my temperature?
It's important. Here, open your mouth and lick your lips.
You're girly,
Arch
man.
your back. Arch your back. If I'm going to look at this bruise, you got to arch your back.
Hey guys, I need
Take
to look
that
at my bruise.
I'll take a temperature.
No, seriously, my dad was like, you can get a blood clot from that. And I was like, I don't think that's how it works, but he said so.
I'd have to see it. Where's that manscape?
It's unlikely.
Sam cuts.
I gotta get that black guy for Trump back in here with that big finger. Get that temperature.
Oh man, that's the ass of a kind.
Oh,
This bruise looks like Gaza right now.
That's the kind's ass. It's rubble. Somebody get that ass a flotilla. Corny.
I'm going to have to apply the salve.
Beep, beep, beep. Warning, just to let you know, I'm coming in for that ass. That's a big bruise. All right, let's grab some shit.
So from what is that, Lineguard Slayer, how do we differentiate between Hamas terrorists who absolutely deserve to die and innocent Palestinians who are caught in the crossfire, since other Arab countries don't seem to want to take in the Palestinians? Where can or should they go?
Well, let's ask, why don't they want to take them?
Big question.
Who are the Palestinians?
I mean, before we even say that, it's important to remember that the Israelis did give a lot of Palestinians in Gaza a route out. They were being evacuated. A lot of them were.
At one point in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
The problem is they elected Hamas.
well, they weren't.
That is a problem.
it's it's not. I think you got to look at Hamas as essentially a mafia family. That's how they run that place. They you know, the Palestinians. If you said you don't like Hamas, good luck. See what happens to you.
Well, and
They killed a lot of their own people.
They do. They
formula over
oppress.
there.
Yes. They oppress.
Taliban same way. Okay, it was the same way. It's a formula.
And look, war, and you guys know this. I mean, Josh.
Oh, yeah, thanks, bud.
Thank you for sharing, Josh.
I'm waiting for. I actually.
You do your job.
What's that?
You got to think.
No,
I put that. I left that one private afterwards, just to be safe too. I probably clip that out and use that.
I was going to say nothing. Wait for every morning and I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna clip that call out because there's tons of bio music in the background and stuff like that. They'll use that as a reason to pull it down. So it's in private right now, and I'm gonna clip it and re-release it.
You were performing at messy gestures because that's what you were ordered to do, weren't you?
I just want to get lost in Josh's beard.
You can't handle the scribbers. Yeah. Well, what is the formula? You just said because you know you're to deal with the talent.
It's a control thing.
Yeah.
You know, like you say, you say Hamas, about the Taliban, about Al-Qaeda. You say a bad thing, they control your media. That's why when they earlier they were like did not get out or could not get out.
Yeah.
Palestinians. Hamas is controlling all their media. They want them dead. They want them in the school or in the hospital where they are. They want that because they want that sympathy. They want Palestinians to go, look what they're doing to you.
Right.
But it's them. And it's 40% children or something like that. That's what they say.
I was going to say.
That's the same thing. It was the same thing in Afghanistan. It was like they.
And that question that this caller asked, it should be directed, or this person who asked
This long-time listener,
this misunderstood her. No, that question directed at Hamas.
Yeah.
That, you know, when you start talking about innocent Palestinians, hey, Hamas, they knew what they were doing. This is systematic. They want Palestinians to be killed because they can use it as leverage. They're not dumb.
If they were really fighting for Palestinians, they would not do the way they're doing it. They would do the things that Israel's doing.
Yeah. The best thing to happen.
They would have their own version of an Iron Dome. Not the Iron Dome, but they would have their own defensive.
Power generation.
Oh.
Yes. Irrigation.
Maybe water supply.
Yes.
You've got an oceanization. Have you guys invented anything or done anything? They're like, oh, they're impressed. Well, desalinization's very good. It is. I'm just saying, like, have you even tried? What about this? What about this? You've got a border with Egypt. Are they giving you power? Yeah. Are they giving you water? Are they giving you food, aid?
Hamas is the most corrupt. They're thieves. They siphon that way.
Absolutely. By the way, right now, go to CNN. Power goes out in Gaza as Israel enacts complete siege, blocking food, water, and electricity. And they're like, this is a war crime. Nope, it's called war. Yeah. You take out their ability to conduct war, which is communication sometimes, and it really pisses people off when they don't have a lot of water. Now, listen, I understand this is messy, but this is also war. You do your very, very best not to have civilian casualties. That's what they're
I'm surprised that as of right now, it's 11:40 Eastern, October. Is it October? What are we? October 11th. October 11th, and they had power at all. I would not have been surprised if October 8th, every last Palestinian woke up, like tried to microwave some soup. Said, oh, Hamas!
That's what they do, though. That's that formula. They give them to blame Israel.
Yeah.
They're not blaming Hamas. They're praising Hamas. Save us, Hamas.
Yeah. How many times do you flip a light switch before you accept that the power is out? I do it far too much.
Well, you gotta flip it a couple times, then you check the fuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the fuse is what goes out. We don't have fuses.
Maybe it's one of those flips where it's not slow. Let me try fast.
Yeah, it was the cross-border invasion and murder.
That
gets in the way of my.
Can you put that back?
Yeah. No. So how do you differentiate? It is tough. It is tough, and you know what? That is not right now. Is not the primary concern. I think what you have to do, you can only control what it is that you do. So Israel can say, all right, we are going to attack these targets. We are going to warn you.
Military targets, because they're going after Hamas.
Well, also, but to be fair, I also want to be clear. Sometimes military targets, unfortunately, are hospitals and schools because that's where Hamas sets up. So that's kind of the
that mosque that they blew up, and the media didn't report on this. That mosque that they blew up was a weapons cache.
Right.
There were secondary explosions.
I was about to say, secondary explosions. What does that mean?
Secondary, it's an explosion, and then you're going to investigate the explosion, and then there's another secondary.
No. I'm not talking about like secondary meaning like setting people up. I'm like when you bomb a building and it goes boom, and then you hear another boom, boom, boom go off. Like that means means that there were munitions.
It wasn't
there.
propane tanks.
Oh, I
it
see.
was munitions.
Yeah, exactly.
They did this in Afghanistan too. Especially when we changed our ROE, our rules of engagement. We couldn't go inside mosques, and we could do this, and we could go inside schools and stuff. That's where they were hiding. That's where they were hiding. And we followed our ROE, so we were literally getting fucked up the next week based on the ability to not go into the mosque. Israel don't give a shit. I love it.
Yeah. Well, look, either you do what they're doing or you don't go into them. My problem is, you'll still have some of the leftover kind of conservatives. Man, I'm not talking about burning the flag. I'm not talking about not supporting our troops. What I am saying is, you don't send you and your buddies in there under those types of terms of engagement. That's useless. You either send people in as Israel is doing, as the IDF is doing. All right, you're either all in or you're all out. That's you being kneecapped. What do you do? What do you do? Okay, well, we can't take all their bases are in mosques or in grade schools. So you have to sit there and turtle? I mean, that sounds like an absolute nightmare. And so Israel has to control what they can do. We're letting you know, we're coming for Hamas, we're coming for these military targets. Here you go. Here's warning. The rest is up to their democratically elected officials in Hamas. It sucks.
It does.
War sucks.
And as somebody who grew up in the Middle East, and I grew up around a lot of Palestinians, so when I see this bombing of Gaza, for me, I know what that food tastes like. I know what those people are like. I love those people. But at the end of the day, I don't think, when people say, well, Israel's doing this, I don't think Israel has a choice at this point. That's the bottom line. And that's the tragedy. And Israel doesn't want to do this, but they've been forced to. And Hamas is responsible. Hamas has this blood on their hands. That's the end of it.
Yeah, on October 6th, this wasn't a problem.
Exactly.
Something changed on October 7th.
And I understand people are left, so that's because there's an open air president. Okay. Again, you're talking about land, you're talking about blockade. Can we at least agree? That there's a conflict there where, let's say you hate Israel and you think, and by the way, the Israeli government is certainly corrupt in a lot of ways, and they're certainly not aligned with American conservatism, just to be clear. That is not lost on me, all right? Just to be clear. But you can, at the very least, go, all right, but the problem is that these blockades in place because of the tunnels, because of the suicide bombing. In other words, you can understand why there's a conflict that at that point might need to be resolved, and maybe Israel at that point is playing hardball. They're a little bit hardball. That's very different from parachuting in and deliberately kidnapping, raping women, children by design, right? Can we agree that there's not a moral equivalency between that, even if we don't like the way Israel has handled some issues? That is, look, it's the bottom line. That's the best way to put it. All right, let's grab another chat.
From Texas bail bond agent, question for Chris. Do you think the Hamas leader calling for global jihad this Friday will result in violence in America?
I need that guy's number.
Maybe Lyle?
People often say, there's so many peaceful, and there are peaceful Muslims, but again, 198 million Muslims across the world who believe that violence against civilians is justified. It's often justified. You can't just look to American Muslims who don't have power. Now, you do see where they congregate, like in the border Hamtramck. You do see the kind of policy sort of weird stuff we had. You have to look at places where those who follow Islamic ideology, and I don't even necessarily just mean Hamas or extremists, Sharia law. What do they do? What happens whenever an Islamist state of any kind gains power through government? It's remarkably consistent. I know in Iran, there were moderates and women who wear one piece in the 70s. I understand that. Just add some time. There is no Islamic democracy that's a bastion of human rights. It does not exist as a system of government. So, when you understand how dangerous that is, the idea, the political prescription of Islam, then you also understand why it is not going to be as consequential in the United States, because they don't have that same footage. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't. It doesn't mean that they won't plan terrorist attacks. But I wouldn't worry at this moment in time of a groundswell and uprising of Islamic violence here. And I hope not. Wishful thinking. I hope not. But my concern is more so looking at Islamic governments and their perspective and their public statements on these issues, because that is what is bone chilling, not what a few Muslims enable to check the box in the United States.
Yeah, and I think that changes quite a bit if we see a broadening of this war, like if other countries come into it, it supports them, meaning Israel supports Israel in the war. And they've got the easiest path in, southern border. Yep. So many people coming over, terrorists could come in with stuff, and we wouldn't have it. Now, I'm not saying nuclear stuff, there is some capability that we have to make sure we monitor that a little bit more closely. 50,000 people coming in.
So we have the Biden wall coming, guys.
Yes,
Biden wall.
Yes, the Biden wall.
Yeah. It's more of a fence.
Yeah.
It's a very
Small. It's like a white picket fence.
I thought it was a problem when his military contractor was Milton Bradley.
It's gonna go fast though.
He's just decontracted.
This is very unique.
All right, let's grab you know what? We can grab one more chat here today, and then we'll call it a day because this has been a lot. It's been a busy 3 days, and hopefully it's cathartic where you get to live through this with us because hey, all of us care. Here, that's one thing too. Everyone here cares. When we're not on air, we're sitting there. We should have said that. It does. It eats away at us, and I know that it eats at you. And hey, hopefully it's like inoculation.
And I want to say this: it's okay sometimes to shake your head and pray. Sometimes that's all you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, not to get too. But I'm serious. Like this is a biblical problem. It's gotten back. It started in the Old Testament. So sometimes all you can do in life is shake your head and pray. Some things are meant to bring you to your knees because you don't have an actual answer. And that's the one thing I know at 30 years old.
Yeah, well,
You know what I'm saying?
maybe you should pray about that.
Why are people laughing?
You're doing whippets again before the show?
That's how I stay so tight-faced. Whippets.
I thought it was ice bath.
Yeah, that too. God, you always push my head in the ice. That's what?
I do.
That's a rumor.
It's our thing. It's our thing that we do. I push your head in the ice. You go,
that mustache.
Yeah, but it does take down the sweat.
Room service.
We're back. Please give me another chat. Please.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? What? Dog fry?
Please.
Wear your dog fry mask again. Push my face in the snow.
Question from Blue Hair 24. Should I feel bad for wanting all of Hamas and other radicals dead? Being a Christian, I am struggling with this emotion.
No struggle. No struggle. Zero struggle. On a scale from 1 to struggle, you shouldn't be on the scale.
Yeah, if
I like to see Hamas
babies,
struggle.
If somebody's killing babies, sign me up.
Gerald was going,
Well, so there are two ways to think about this, and I lean towards what I think is the biblical, but also correct way. Like this is justice. Like this is war. God is not against necessarily war because war is all throughout the Bible, especially when it is a righteous war. These people were attacked. They beheaded. Of course, I don't have any problem with Hamas being taken out if they are murderers and killers. God's also not against them.
I would just go to Metro PCS, and just see what type of deals they have. I mean, you're not going to get anything. You're not. For cheap, you're not going to get the best camera or anything. And I don't even use my phone with the best camera just because I don't want to take it away if a situation arises. But pretty much, I would go somewhere like that. It just has like $50 a month, unlimited data, has a decent camera, but lots of memory. I mean, Samsung even makes the A versions of the S23 and all that stuff. They call it A whatever. That's mostly what Metro sells. But I would go with Metro just because that's T-Mobile, and they got probably the best 5G network. Although a lot of times I get frustrated with 5G because it'll go from a screaming signal to dial-up. Yeah, something like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but they have versions, light versions of all the good Samsung phones.
It's a really because it's why Hamas wants all that ability.
When I do static recording or anything like that, I use my good phone.
Right, so the problem was
But it's rare that I go live with it just because I'm definitely afraid of losing it. Even though it would be, basically I would just call it in as stolen. And pretty much everything I have on my phone is backed up anyway.
I'm sorry.
In the cloud.
Time for you to go.
Right.
Gotta go. Gotta go.
No, I completely. But I understand what Joe was saying. It did make me think about it. Like what he's saying is after someone died, he wouldn't have, done a fake
Celebrate.
with an AK. AK-47.
Well, I thought it was actually in retrospect.
It's not Steve Craddock.
In retrospect, it's funny. It was the White House cheering that I was like, oh, that's a little weird. Like,
Right. No, mine was just
Weird you weren't there,
I
to be
wasn't
honest.
really rallying to death. It was just the idea that he was uploading another video and didn't realize he was in hell.
Yeah.
But I will say this: what I do remember most about that was I ordered online because I'd always used cheap spirit gum before I got at like Party City for fake beards, and it never really worked. So someone's like, no, what you want is this. And they gave me like industrial strength silicone adhesive. The joke. So the joke. That's all they pull it. Osama in hell for my channel. We don't get to see it, but that was on my face for weeks. I had a pillowcase that just had streaks down it. I did everything. I got the makeup remover. I started using nail polish remover on my face.
You know what I say?
Worth it. I just use double-sided tape. Is what I use now, but that's remember most of it. And Jill did give me something to think about. But yeah, look, and I will say this: kill them all, kill every last one of them. Don't rape them. I don't believe in torture. Now, when I say embarrass, what I mean is shame these people and expose them for the absolute evil that they are. We need to make
No cheese on this
burger.
burger. Oh, yeah, there is.
And you said kill them, not their families, not their children.
No, absolutely not. Right? And don't revel in it. I don't want to see people, pissing on Hamas bodies. That's the difference. There's nothing wrong with killing them, and I would say taking satisfaction in a job well done, because we are called to do that, because we are called to protect those who can't protect themselves. We are called to do that. As Christians and as Jews, you are called to protect those people. And that is human nature. We have a God of order. You were designed, right? You were created in God's image. That doesn't mean that we don't pervert it. You don't need to feel guilty in taking out a murderer, in taking out someone who seeks to harm your family. There's a difference between that and reveling in the death of the wicked. And fun is something that's very natural, and you shouldn't feel guilty about it. But if you find yourself going into the territory of, and then I want to dress them up after they did like drag queen story hour and do weekend at drag queens. Okay, no, that's a problem, because the job is done. There's a job that needs to be done.
Where did they come? Carrying the strings and the whole.
It's also just dead weight. It's just asymmetrical. It's like a kettlebell bag of meat.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're not swinging those things.
It's like a sandbag of fat. It's like a barbell without the rotating bearings. The point is, it's not the most effective method of progressive overload. So just bury the bodies, whatever you have to do. And I think we probably have a clip from Osama in hell. Did someone pull it from the YouTube channel? No, that was from a long time ago. But I will leave you with this thing. We were talking about this earlier, Don Fry, because we were talking about the mustache. One of the best insults I've ever heard in my life. So Don Fry was this fighter, and he had a mustache. We ran the clip on the show one time where after 9/11 he fought in Japan, and he came out waving the flag. After 9/11, he said, "My God, I went out there waving the flag, high and proud, not wearing it like some damn hippie." And the Japanese audience, they were on board with me. I had a torn quad. Gilbert Avell, he could have just ran away the whole night and nothing I could do, but he was a man by God, and he came to fight. It's a really inspirational video. But a great insult was, they do these trash talks, and like pride before they have to talk to each other. And Don Fry had an advice column, Dear Don, like Dear Abby. And he had a great mustache, world class. And Ken Shamrock thought he was going to put one over on him. So he sends in a video question to Don Fry. He goes, "Dear Don, I heard a rumor that you stole your mustache from Freddie Mercury. Is this true?" And then Don Fry answers. The guy's about to fight, by the way. He goes, "Well, Ken, I appreciate you coming to me like a man and asking me in person for my video. We all know how rumors get started, Ken, so I appreciate you asking me as a man, because I heard a rumor that you lost your virginity to Freddie Mercury, and I defended you. I said I knew Ken Shamrock when he was having sex with men long before he slept with Freddie Mercury." See you tomorrow.
Wow. That was exciting. This guy just got over. That's why I wasn't speeding up. Now you're gonna get cut off. Fucking idiot. Pass on the right. I love it. Ooh, a fucking Canadian. Fuck you, you fucking Canadian. Well. Let's get something else going. Hey.
This man. Supreme Court's got oral arguments. We looked at that yesterday, but it wasn't much too interesting in terms of the docket. And Stefanik, let's see if she's got any updates for us. Nada from her. Let's just do a general search for speaker. No. Not much. Yeah, not much. So, all right, well, don't have much there. So I don't know when we're expecting to hear something. Like, is it going to be any minute now? Is it going to be the end of the day? Maybe not at all. What's up, inDOCtriNATION? Cinnamon gag bombs. It's like eating sand with cinnamon. Well, you got to have you can't have the ones that explode, like certainly, like, you know, if you have like multiple day old snickerdoodles. I'm talking about like fresh out of the oven, moist and just like, you know, hot with some cinnamon on it. It's pretty good. But yeah, I know what you're saying, sweet potato. You must have had a bad experience, like in you know, middle school or something. You know, when everybody brings cookies to the parties, and somebody's like, "Hey, sweet potato, hey, try my snickerdoodle cookies," and you take one bite, and it explodes everywhere, and you got crumbs all over the place, and like eyeballs are exploded. I know what cookies. I've had that experience myself, and I think I was turned off on snickerdoodles for a while because of that experience. But that's not every one of them.
Not every snickerdoodle's alike.
Your shirt looks like you're bare-chested. It kind of does, right? It kind of does. Like, especially if you can't see the wrinkles in there. Like that looks pretty good right there. Almost looks like I'm not wearing anything. John says, if we don't get something today, McCarthy will be speaker again. Could you imagine that? How amazing would that be? But not really. You know what I mean? It would be amazing just because it's amazing. Yeah, sweet potato says that I've had that exactly. I guess I never had a real one. Yeah. So here, lots of butter in snickerdoodles. Yeah, you got to load them up, and they got to be moist. But I've had the exploding cookies it's like, especially around Christmas time, a lot of people will bring out probably last year's Christmas cookies. You know, you ever go to those Christmas parties and they have all the cookies out, but if you're like 99% sure they're from last year, you just like put them in a Ziploc and brought it back out again. You're like being assaulted every time you take a bite of something. You ever go to those parties? Gooey chocolate chips. Those are probably my favorite. I mean, you really can't beat those. Apple fritters from bird watchers in the house. Big tall glass of milk. Deborah Meyer said, "Did you hear that Jim Jordan defended Jack Smith?" I did not hear that. Recently? Or was that during your prior case? Tiger Shark says, "Those are liberal cookies." Glocky Nick Glockface is joining us. Hey, welcome, Glocky Nick Glockface. Says, "Massive air attack against northern Israel, Lebanon invading, Beirut embassy being evacuated." Oh my gosh. Are we like, is the northern front over there opening up right now? Let's see, who's got some coverage on this? Let's see what the time says. Israel agrees to a unity government as the war intensifies. Iran's leaders are surprised by the Hamas attack. U.S. says early intelligence shows.
But they claim they participated in it.
Pleaded for help in locating their loved ones. That's not good. Yeah, and so the New York Times and these places are actually slow relative to other sources. So let me check this one. This guy's been doing some good stuff. Yeah, so here's this one. So this guy's posting good stuff. OSINT Defender, so open source intelligence, says terrorist infiltration alert for the town of Ma'alat Tarisha near the border with Lebanon. Terrorist alert near the border with Lebanon. Yep, here it is, this one. OSINT Defender says the reports made by several accounts roughly an hour ago, okay, that has not been confirmed. That the U.S. has ordered the evacuation of the embassy in Lebanon has not been confirmed. So that was 2 minutes ago. He just dropped that. So he's generally been doing some pretty reliable things that I've been seeing. It looks like not too emotional, just kind of factually. He says at least 20 paragliders were seen entering northern Israel from Lebanon within the last few minutes. It's possible that these were drones that were confused with paragliders, but we don't know. So, man, things are getting spicy over there. Wild indeed. Oh my gosh, look at these cookies. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap it up here, but we got to look at these cookies. Oh my gosh, look at these. Woo! Man, I could like take a bite out of my screen right now. Ah, yum. Feeling so good. All right, and so my friends, so I've got a meeting here in just a few short minutes, and so we'll wrap it up, but I want to say hello and our goodbyes. Deborah says, "Sorry, Rock, came out wrong. Defunded Jack Smith. Defunded Jack Smith." Thank you for that one. No, I did not hear that. K Bean's in the house. So nice to see you. We got SCVM, King Ginger's here. Catania Mama Italia. Good to see you, Blocky. Leona's here. Yeah, we started early today because I got that meeting coming up like right now. So I got to jump, my friends, but it is a beautiful Wednesday. We'll be back here at the normal time to dig into it all again. We'll see what is in store for us. I think we've got some Fanny Willis updates today.
All right. Apparently, he started early.
And it should be good.
Just going to back it up.
I hope your week is rocking and rolling. But here you see Harvard. All right, my friends, we are back, and it is a lovely Wednesday. Man, we are rocking and rolling through this week. It is flying by. Of course, it's going swimmingly well. And as per usual, let's figure out what the heck is going on in this world around us, in our country and elsewhere. And we've actually got some activity today on the presidential schedule. Here's what it looks like. October 11th. And, you know, are there Halloween decorations going up around you or around mine? I was out walking around yesterday, and there's a nice house that has a lot of activity on it. Oh, yeah.
Now it's processing because you did it into the stream. Damn it, Bobby.
I don't think it's central. You can show us in route to the zone 8464 route. I don't know. I like rescue on sea. Yeah, I like rescue. Central 1487 for last. You're talking about problem 38. Can you show me what's right over?
Do I enjoy Crowder? I like his comedy. I'm sorry. I haven't been seeing all this. Do I like all of his political views? No. He's too conservative. That's weird hearing that from me, but not too conservative, but blindly conservative on too many issues. Because I believe on 90% of all issues, there can be some middle ground. But you're staunch leftists and Crowder like conservatives. they don't see it. So I don't even know if you're still here, but I was in a zone. Morning zone out. Let's see if we get stopped by the train again today. Let me guess, it's looking like could be a dispo. Get another one. No name out front yet.
You show me how to GPS with vehicle maintenance. Will you route to an address for future service? You have the address when you're ready.
I don't. I mean, it's always good to have your essentials backed up in the cloud if you're even still here. But of course, you're just basically putting it on a hard drive somewhere else that they can examine, mostly Google for that matter.
Put his items out for trash pickup. Stated that they were valuable. He would like an officer to check in, give him a call if I need.
Valuable trash. Okay. That's interesting. The train up ahead. God dang it. Ooh, it just crossed over here.
Get a PD en route.
It's moving way too slow, too.
Affirmative.
Station has asked us to leave.
Clear. Follow them.
Central.
Uniform.
Could you change this to a domestic?
Different.
All right. Well, shit on right now. I don't want to start playing part of Russell today and then play the rest on the desktop.
Central 1435.
Go ahead.
3 PA.
Greetings, everyone. This is Jeff with Ani Rose Civil Rights Investigations. I am here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, in front of City Hall. I'm going to be doing my God Bless the Homeless Veterans outreach. Today is, hold on a second, Friday, October 6th, 2023. It's 1:52 p.m., 82 degrees out here. And I'm just going to be standing in front of City Hall and just around this general downtown area of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, spreading the message of God Bless homeless veterans and soliciting prayers and goodwill and compassion for our homeless veterans here in the city of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Let's see how it goes.
He got a little upset yesterday.
No, I'm not.
I'd say, I think our homeless coordinator here, she isn't here right now. She actually took a day off to go be with kids.
Oh, okay.
I was going to get your information. So pass it on.
That would be awesome. I'm not homeless myself, God bless.
I'm part of the homeless task force here.
Oh, okay.
Like, for the city.
You were the law enforcement?
No, I'm code enforcement.
My name is Jeff.
With. If anybody in Hattiesburg, in the city limits of Hattiesburg, gives you problems,
okay,
as long as you are on public property.
property, yeah.
Okay. So that includes the right of way. Okay. But as long as you're on public property, there is nothing wrong with what's happening right here. And I will stand on. I enforce the ordinances all day. A lot of the cops call and ask me because of how much I look at them. I try and stay as up to date as I possibly can. I don't know it all.
Right.
But I try my hardest.
And that's the best attitude. I don't know it all. You don't know it all.
But if anybody in Hattiesburg gives you a problem, you tell them to call me.
Understood. Okay. We'll do. God bless you. That's it.
Absolutely. What you're doing right there. What's up?
Right. Okay. Thank you. You too. Nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
How can I help you?
I'm just out here hanging out.
Oh, well, do you mind hanging out over there instead of in front of our front door? We're trying to have lunch today.
Yeah, we talk to people coming and going from the restaurant.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, but I would appreciate it if you just didn't do it in front of our front door.
I'd just like to stay here. It's nice.
Okay, well, I could call the cops and have them have.
I'd rather not.
Okay, well, then do you mind just going down?
I do.
I'm trying to be nice.
I do. You're nice. You're trying to
all right, I'll call the owner and have him come down.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, they asked me. I'd rather not. I like it right here.
All right, we're going to call the cops and come have them come get you out of here.
They can't do anything about it.
They can. They will. You're right in front of our property. It's disturbing our walkway.
You guys are making a fuss out of nothing.
Yes, you're nice to have me too.
All right. That's for sure. I'm all right, sir. How are you? I'm just out here engaged in Constitution protected activity, that's all. I'm just out here doing my thing, engaged in Constitution protected activity, that's all.
Are you paying?
I don't answer questions like that. Even if I was, it's protected speech. Right? I mean, panhandling has been ruled by the courts to be a charitable appeal for funds, so. Yeah.
I guess. What's your name?
My name's Jeff. What's your name?
Jeff what?
Jeff. I did not give my last name or anything like that. Sure, Officer Ross June. Okay, nice to meet you.
So you say you're Jeff?
Jeff.
Jeff what?
Jeff. I'd rather not give my last name or anything.
You don't have a last name?
I do, but I'd rather not.
So I can identify you?
I'm not going to identify myself.
Alright. Give me 1 second. Just
Okay.
before I get a phone.
Simple. Sorry?
Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm hard of hearing. I'm from the 70s.
70s?
Yes, sir.
Like, what city, what state?
Like I said, I'm just peacefully and politely engaged in Constitution protected activity. Beyond that, I'd rather not answer any questions or anything like that. I don't want to identify myself or give any information.
Do this business know that you're in front of your school?
Yeah, they've come out a few times and asked me to move along
Why have you done that?
because I have the right to be here.
Your business.
Yeah, it's also a public sidewalk.
What is your business doing?
Right.
I'm
hard of hearing, sir.
Near eyes, you're like avoiding customers from coming into their business.
I haven't even seen any customers or anything. I'm not doing that. I'm just being nice and polite. I'm just waving at cars and people coming in and going from City Hall. That's all.
People in there now? They open?
There's people in there. They come out and talk to me. I can't see there's customers or anything like that. So. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm standing here on this busy street. Right next to City Hall is over there. This is a one-way street with lots of traffic coming through here. Standing on the public sidewalk, spreading this message of God bless the homeless veterans. And this restaurant right here, I guess it's called the Bourbon on Front Street. I guess wrong. This is Front Street. And they've called the police on me. So, claiming that I'm disrupting their business, which I am not doing. And it looks to me like they like to put their signs for their business on the public sidewalk and block the public sidewalk, which doesn't bother me any, but they're trying to get me run off and calling the cops on me. They shouldn't be putting their signs on the public sidewalk. They don't own the public sidewalk. So I'm staying right here. Good, how are y'all? I'm sorry?
Is this business actually related?
I'm staying on the public sidewalk.
Okay. First of all, are you a homeless man?
I'm not answering questions like that.
No. Yeah. That's why I'm like, if you need some help, I appreciate it. Thank you. Online, get some help.
Yeah, I just rather not answering questions like that. I'm just staying on public sidewalk and engage the Constitution.
Okay, you're disturbing the business. You're in front of the business and you're disturbing the business.
That's
okay?
Now,
if you want to move down the road and go somewhere, by all means do. Okay? But right now, you're standing in front of the business because you're in their doorway. So, you cannot enter their business.
That's not true.
Okay. And you've been, people called saying that you caused them disturbance. Okay?
I'm not. That's just hearsay.
Not hearsay. Yeah,
it's just
okay.
It's their word.
That's the definition of hearsay.
That is why I also asked you who you are, because we got to call for services. So if we want to identify you, you got to call for service.
Right, but I have a right.
Yeah, same tracks as yesterday, but it was actually a train this time.
You're disturbing the business. Panhandling sign, there's no panhandling allowed in Harrisburg.
Panhandling is a civil right.
Okay.
It's free speech.
It's free speech.
Yes.
Go ahead now. I look, you're going to be every time you're going to be trying.
All right, Mr. Jim. Putting me in cuffs? Why?
If you let them leave, go ahead and leave.
They put him in the handcuffed and put him in the car for 30 minutes.
Now, when you have people on a civil, you got to do that.
I never said you were. Now let me cover a lot before, guys. They won't get tight on you.
He's in torture cuffs. Wow. That's nuts.
You got me locked up, man.
Just in the car, we're not actually down. This car right here is right down here. Okay. Yeah.
Looks like it's recorded too.
They moved it.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm just gonna ask you to leave in front of this building from one bed to another bed. Okay? You discuss me as a leader. Yeah. You have to do a bed, you need some help, let me know, because I'm a vet and I will make damn sure. Wait, not that much? You get help. Okay? Sometimes people play one time in the script. But that's the thing. I'm able to give you a warning that you just please leave from in front of that building. Take that sign and go somewhere else. Put the project camera on. Okay. So you touch me. Right. Do you need anything to drink or anything? I got some water there. Go for it. So good? Yeah, as long as you go, just please don't be in front of the building. Stand right up in here right now. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, I know it ain't hot, but that's how it is. And be different. You know, I'm all right. Yeah, it's just sleep. Yeah, when you get there, don't get back there. Okay, now, I'm gonna ask you to leave the area.
All right, well, I'm back over here where I parked my truck. They had me cuffed in the back of the car for a good 20, 30 minutes, it felt like. My thumb, my whole right arm is asleep. My thumb is hurting, my fingers are hurting, my wrists are hurting. So that's how I went in Hattiesburg, man. This is exhausting. Yeah, God bless the homeless veterans. God bless freedom of speech. God bless freedom of religion. God bless freedom of assembly. But apparently here in Mississippi, all it takes is the whim of a city official or a restaurant owner to just say, this guy doesn't have any civil rights anymore. I guess it's equivalent to getting a call from the mayor or the governor or the president of the United States and declaring martial law and suspending our civil liberties. I mean, I was standing on a public sidewalk. I wasn't bothering anybody. Oh, boy.
I give him credit. I guess if I was semi-retired and had the time to do something like that, it would definitely be interesting. It's been doing it a long time, though, and it's still pretty frustrating to see that happen. It makes my blood boil. All right. I'm going to try and set up a desktop stream. It's already getting a little bit late. Thanks for riding with me, Dirty. Looks like you're the only one here. Peace, love, out.